Why are Americans so political and so stressed? This is something I've spent some time reflecting on. I want to discuss together about this, maybe get your thoughts too through the comments, but I've been spending a lot of time looking at this issue, thinking about this issue, and I have some thoughts I want to bring to you to maybe help your perspective on what's going on here, whether you live in America or outside. I'm Shawn McBride. I am an American. I've lived in America my entire life. I have done a lot of international business, so I know a little bit about the international world. Also, I have a lot of friends that are international. I also know a number of Americans through groups or otherwise that have come and gone from America, so they have other perspectives. They've experienced other countries. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into the American melting pot that is very unique. And I think it helps explains why America is so darn political and why Americans are so stressed. And I want to start with just thinking about the role of America in the world, right? The Americans have taken on this role of being international policemen. And there's a lot of Americans that don't really like this role or job, but America is, sending people, CIA, otherwise, throughout the world, watching things and occasionally pushing buttons and moving things around in different parts of the world. They have a lot of say in what happens, not just within the U.S., but around the world. And then here domestically, within the U.S., a lot of us feel the power of that U.S. government. Now, a lot of that is shown as we watch what happens, right? We're sitting here right now, as I record this, Sunday, January 26th. We're in the first week of the new Trump presidency. And the number of executive orders that are coming out is astounding, right? He's having these signing ceremonies. He's talking a little bit about what he's signing, and then he's signing stuff. And he's shifting the entire American government with a pen. And for some people out there are some people that are influenced by the American government, mostly Americans, obviously, but business owners, people whose entire world are literally going to change by the signing of a pen. And I know that's not everybody, and I bet some of you are going to comment something to the effect of, well, most people aren't affected so greatly by these executive orders, but some people are, right? Entire livelihoods. Whether your oil and gas business is moving forward or not comes down to largely the signature of a president, right? Can really either make or break a business in the oil and gas industry, right? We see some people now who've gotten executive orders they want, and that's going to open up whole businesses. There's probably a scramble to take advantage of that. Meanwhile, there's people who, have been working in government offices doing certain jobs, and now by executive order, they're laid off. And they are maybe getting paid leave, but their career path became just a lot more uncertain, right? They were doing a certain function. They were working for the government. Trump comes in, signs executive orders. Suddenly now these people are, unemployed, maybe still drawing a salary, which is fine, but they know at some point that's going to come to an end. They've got to start rethinking their career path. Again, all by signature of a pen. And then all of us sit here and watch this knowing that the waves could shift. The tax policy changes, right? Your entire way of building your life, your business, the way of planning can shift by these federal laws that just come and go. And lawmaking is one thing, but we've moved to a time where executive orders and executive action of the president drive so much. Biden signed a lot of executive orders. Now Trump's signing a lot of executive orders. And a lot of people in America have to sit and wait and see where those executive orders go. A lot of these executive orders these days do push the line, leading to litigation, and that creates a lot of uncertainty, such as what's going on with the Corporate Transparency Act. That is a piece of federal legislation about business owners having to disclose their ownership structure. That thing has been a mess. And I'm following it on my other channel because I am a lawyer. This channel is about business, about life, and about how, to get better for the future of business. We don't go deep on the legal topics, but I will tell you the Corporate Transparency Act a legal topic is having a lot of impact on businesses. Businesses don't know whether they need to comply or not because it's going every which direction. The law was signed in when Trump was still in office the first time. He vetoed it. They overrode him. The law came into effect after several delays. People kept thinking it was going to get delayed, but finally, late 2023, we got word that it was going to come into effect in 2024, with most businesses that existed prior to January 1, 2024 having to sign by January 1, 2025, having to do their filing of this report. And then there was a rash of litigation. Early December 2024, one case goes one way, then it gets reversed again. Now it's apparently gone up to the Supreme Court, who's changed their mind again. So, through all the flip-flopping, people would assume you have to file, but there's a second case that's on appeal. So we don't know whether they're going to file or not. We don't know whether Trump's going to let this go into effectiveness. And business owners that are my clients for my law firm are sitting there scratching their head saying, what is going on here? Why are we going back and forth? Can we just get an answer? What do we have to do? And that's highly stressful, right? Because you don't know what to do. And for some businesses, very easy to comply. If you got one owner, simple LLC, easy peasy. But if you've got multiple owners, if you've got trusts involved, if you've got voting arrangements, you've got some other bells and whistles that more complicated companies might have, you have issues with potentially filing. It becomes a more complex endeavor that you really need to watch what's going on, right? And so everybody's got to watch government web pages and cases to figure out what's going on. And all this politics being so powerful and the government making such decisions that change day-to-day life and changing them back and forth is inherently stressful, right? You don't know what to expect. A lot of, if you read the psychology books, if you read the articles, a lot of people get stressed from uncertainty, right? You'll hear about people having PTSD or other conditions. And the uncertainty, the not knowing what's going to happen next, the unpredictability can really, get to people's nerves. And we're watching it. As a country, we have this kind of environment where things change very quickly. We don't know what to expect next. And we're wondering what's going to happen. I will tell you, I've talked to a number of lawyers, again, about that Corporate Transparency Act we talked about a few minutes ago. They're stressed out because they don't know what the compliance deadlines are going to be. They don't know what their clients are going to do. And some lawyers are worried now they're going to have a rush deadline when the government makes this thing effective again, if that happens, that they're going to have an unexpected, ton of work to do because of this back and forth and then maybe a short deadline. It really creates stress. And so everybody wants to manage the stress. And that's partially why I think Americans become so political. When you talk about people in other parts of the world and they think about the American system being so political and that politics being such a part of central life, it's because politics pushed on so hard on the Americans that people see it as very real. It's very important. It becomes a priority. And while a lot of people don't understand what's going on politically, many people do, and a lot of people spend a lot of time on this. I personally spent a lot of time following politics, not because I really love politics, but because it pushes so hard on the business world that I'm in that I need to understand what's going on, and that these policies can quickly change not just my business, but my client's business, the business world around me, right? And part of what I do is I give speeches on the future of business, partnership agreements, things that are developing, and knowing this landscape politically and legally becomes so important. So Americans are almost forced into being political because the politics hits their life so hard. And I know it happens in other countries. I know tax policies is important. And I know, who's in control can change things too. But the amount of change in the U.S. and the amount of international influence that we have and how that reverberates back to us in our economy, how much our jobs and our careers and whether our businesses are thriving or not depends on politics, it is almost shocking. So we've really got to pay attention. We're forced as a country to pay attention to this. And that creates that stress level. And then more and more, I'm watching in America that it's hard to find politic-free zones. When I was younger, we had times and places where politics just weren't discussed, right? everybody focused on, going to the baseball game, riding your bikes as when I was a young kid, go working on our careers, advancing our life, right? We did not have to get so deep into politics. But now, because the government is stronger than ever, bigger percent of GDP than it's been, it is there. It is present, and it impacts our lives and our careers so much that we have no choice but to pay attention to it and to be stressed. And then we're constantly worried about what other people around us are doing, because are they going to be stressed out as well, right? So let me know in the comments if this is hitting a tone with you, right? Do you feel this stress? Do you feel this pressure in the American system? And if you're in another country, do you understand why we're feeling this? Let me know in the comments if you understand kind of why we are so stressed. And this is why, I've been a member of a number of expat groups, people who have left the U.S. I've joined a number of these groups one way or another and talked to these people. And they just, a lot of them feel like they just want to leave because of the stress. They don't like this environment, right? They want to be able to disconnect from the constant stream of change and the constant stream of everything pushing down on them so hard. And I can understand that, right? Let me know in the comments if you can feel that as well. Folks, it's just something we have to watch. It's the reality of where we are today. It's the life we're in. That here in the U.S., we are kind of the center of a lot of the world, at least the U.S. alliance, right? The Western world. And then now we have BRICS coming on the other side. So there's a potential, Cold War or build-up between, the Americans, Europeans, and the people who are aligned therefore, and then the BRICS nations, right? We see that potential clash building up right now between those two. And that's going to bring this stuff even more to the fore, particularly for America, because America leads the Western alliance for the most part. This is a very stressful time, and we're feeling the pressure. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll be back for more videos soon. If you're interested in future video, consider subscribing to our channel, and I look forward to reading your comments.